Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. I'm going to open up the Daily Mastermind mobile app today. We've got the quote of the day from Matthew McConaughey. And the quote is, "The approach is the destination, and we are never finished." The approach is the destination, and we are never finished. If you haven't downloaded the Daily Mastermind mobile app, I encourage you to go to iTunes or Google Android Marketplace, Google Play, and get that. It's free. We got all kinds of resources and things in there for you. But today I want to talk to you about a topic that I believe a lot of people struggle with, and that is your past does not define you. Your past doesn't define you. Here's the bottom line. All you have is now. The future does not exist, and hopefully you can create the future, but you got to be focused on the now in order to do that. And you have to, in order to do that, we have to stop living in the past. You know, most anxiety, stress, depression, all that type of stuff lies in your dwelling in the past and thinking about things in the past and what you woulda, coulda, shoulda done. But you can't drive the future forward living in the past. You can only learn from the future and move forward. And so dwelling in the past is going to keep you and hold you back. But there's a misbelief here because a lot of people believe, and whether you accept it, verbally or subconsciously, you believe that your past does define you. And this simply is not true. And a good example, maybe a good analogy of this I'd like to use, I always go back to Wayne Dyer, who uses the analogy of a boat. If you've ever been on a boat and you've stood on the back of it looking out, as you're moving through the water and you see the waves kind of behind the boat, those are called a wake. And if you've ever done that, or you know what I'm talking about, you got to ask yourself a couple of questions. First of all, what is the wake? What is that wake, those waves behind the boat? Well, the answer to that is it's the trail that the boat leaves behind. And so then you kind of ask yourself, well, what's making the boat go forward? What's making it move through the water? And naturally, the answer to that is the engine. The engine is the torque that, powers this boat and moves it forward. So is the wake actually making the boat go forward? No, it's the engine that makes the boat go forward. The wake cannot make the boat go forward any more than the trail that's left behind in your life can move you forward in life. So believing that your past defines you is just an absolutely ridiculous thing if you think about it. But many of us are still dealing in the past, and we feel like that wake in our life or the past in our life has defined who we are, and it's just simply not the case. So you have to be willing to accept the past, let it go, learn from it, and then just move forward. There really is no past. It's gone. Reflecting on it is simply an illusion. So think about this. Who would you be without your past? Well, there's certainly lessons that you've learned and things like that. But the challenge that we have is that all of us have a story that we are carrying around with us. The story is something that we feel like the story has defined us. And many thought leaders talk about this. You hear Tony Robbins and many others say that your story will create limiting beliefs in your life if you let it. Your story can help propel you forward and motivate you, but most times it will create limiting beliefs in your life that hold you back. So you have to get rid of your story. You have to overcome these limiting beliefs, and you have to overcome the thought that your life defines you and your story defines you in order to start living a better life, your ultimate life. So ask yourself this question, who would you be without your story? What if you were to let your story go? You basically wouldn't have any past impressions to have to live up to. You could be anything you wanted. So remember this. This is a key thought. And I talked a little bit earlier this week about David Goggins, and sometimes we just need a motivation and kick in the pants. But many people have asked him why he was able to really challenge himself through SEAL training, running marathons and ultramarathons on broken feet and things like this. It's because he said he's put himself through so much in his life that he's just learned to adapt to all situations. You have to remind yourself of something. Your brain is hardwired to overcome adversity. There's no such thing as failing, and never learning and adapting. Our brains are neurologically hardwired to adapt. And so give yourself a little bit of credit here. Give yourself credit that you have a brain just like everybody else. Your neuroplasticity, your neuroscience, your ability to adapt is there, whether you believe it or not. So you just need to immerse yourself in your situation, accept whatever it is that you have in your business, relationships, life, wherever it is, and stop giving power to the past and just accept the present and move forward in the now. Because accepting responsibility will allow you and empower you to move forward. Now, it's hard to hear and it's even harder to do, but you need to do this. And so listen to me now for just a second. You need to make a decision, capital D, decision, that you're just going to move forward and move past the circumstances in your life. You're going to drop your story and you're going to create a new one. You are the author, you're the writer, you're the main character. You can do whatever you want to do. You're not that person from the past. You're not the story. You are the present person. You are the one empowered to become better. You're a better version of yourself already today. Simply having these thoughts and listening to this podcast and thinking through this topic proves that you're striving for excellence and growth. You're a better version today, even if you're still struggling, even if you're struggling more than you were in the past, you're a better version today. You're more experienced, you're a stronger person because you are striving for more. And so right now, this very minute, you can decide to move forward with everything in your life, your circumstances, and become a better version and become a more empowered person. So congratulations. Today is simply the first day of the rest of your life. So go get to work. That's my message for today. I hope that you can be inspired and motivated to do something extra today that you haven't done. And I encourage you to do that, and I look forward to talking with you again. Once again, this is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have a great day.